Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are going to unlock the secrets of English grammar. But before we do that, please like this video, subscribe to the channel and click on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I post a new video. Now this is a prepositional phrase which means despite or in spite of. For example, she woke up early in spite of her illness. That means even though she was ill, she woke up early. Another example, he passed the exam in spite of all the distractions. That means despite all the distractions, he passed the exam. And if you are here for the first time, please consider subscribing. Let's begin. A little although he was tired, he didn't go to bed. And it usually begins with a subordinating conjunction such as although, whereas, while, when, whenever, etc. And it usually begins with a subordinating conjunction such as although, whereas, while, when, whenever, etc. In this case, the subordinating conjunction is although, which means despite the fact that. For example, though hurt, he denied that he needed any help. For example, in view of the evidence, we decided to cancel the project. That means considering or taking into account the evidence, we decided to cancel the project. For example, given the chance, I would definitely do it. That means if I am given the chance, I would definitely do it. Another example, given enough time, we can fix it. That means if we are given enough time, we can fix it. For example, owing to his negligence, the project was delayed. That means because of his negligence, the project was delayed. Another example, owing to bad weather, the flight was cancelled. That means because of the bad weather, the flight was cancelled. Another example, in view of your excellent work, we have decided to promote you. So now you know how to say despite or in spite of in English. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. Also let me know which phrase you liked the most and which one you would use the most. If you want to become fluent in English faster and learn English step by step, I recommend you to start learning English with a proper online English course. I have designed some wonderfully effective online English courses. The link for these courses is available below. Happy learning! Take care. Bye bye. For example, on account of heavy rain, all the matches were cancelled. That means because of heavy rain, all the matches were cancelled. For example, due to heavy snowfall, the school was closed. That means because of heavy snowfall, the school was closed. Another example, due to his hard work, he got promoted. That means because of his hard work, he got promoted. Another example, on account of his good behavior, he was awarded a prize. That means because of his good behavior, he was awarded a prize. That means considering or taking into account your excellent work, we have decided to promote you. That means despite the fact that he was hurt, he denied that he needed any help. For example, considering his good health, he should be able to play. That means considering his good health, he should be able to play. Another example, considering all the pros and cons, I think this is the best solution. That means considering all the pros and cons, I think this is the best solution. Another example, though exhausted, she refused to take a break. That means despite the fact that she was exhausted, she refused to take a break. In this case, the subordinating conjunction is although, which means despite the fact that. Now this is a prepositional phrase which means because of. For example, because of the high cost, I had to cancel the project. That means because of the high cost, I had to cancel the project. Another example, because of your constant support, I was able to do it. That means because of your constant support, I was able to do it. For example, I was tired. I stayed up late to watch the meteor shower. That means although I was tired, I stayed up late to watch the meteor shower. Another example, she was scared. She went on the roller coaster. That means despite the fact that she was scared, she went on the roller coaster. Here the structure is very similar to the earlier phrase, a little although, but it is more formal. For example, in spite of the fact that she was tired, she finished her work. Here the structure is similar to in spite of the fact that. The only difference is instead of using the noun form, we use the verb form. For example, in spite of having a lot of money, he wasn't happy. That means despite the fact that he had a lot of money, he wasn't happy. Another example, in spite of being tired, she went for a long walk. That means despite the fact that she was tired, she went for a long walk. That means despite the fact that she was tired, she finished her work. For example, although it was raining, we enjoyed our picnic. That means although it was raining, we enjoyed our picnic. Another example, she went to bed although she wasn't tired. That means despite the fact that she wasn't tired, she went to bed. Another example, in spite of the fact that it was cold, he went for a run. That means despite the fact that it was cold, he went for a run. That means despite the fact that he was tired, he didn't go to bed. Another example, a little although it was raining heavily, we went for a picnic. That means despite the fact that it was raining heavily, we went for a picnic. The first phrase is in spite of. Now let's look at another phrase. A little plus adjective plus although. This phrase means despite the fact that. Let's look at an example. Now this phrase means despite or in spite of. For example, he came to school regardless of the heavy rain. For example, with all your problems in mind, I still think you're doing great. That means despite all your problems, I still think you're doing great. Another example, with all his efforts, the project failed. That means despite all his efforts, the project failed. That means despite the heavy rain, he came to school. Another example, we will go out tonight regardless of the weather. That means despite the weather, we will go out tonight. Now let's look at the third phrase, in spite of the fact that. Let's move on to the next phrase. This one is regardless of. Next phrase is with plus noun plus in spite of. This phrase also means despite or in spite of. The next phrase is though plus adverb. This is actually an adverbial clause, which means a clause that gives us additional information about the verb in the sentence. Next is though plus adjective. This is again an adverbial clause, which means a clause that gives us additional information about the verb in the sentence. Next is in spite of the verb plusing. Next is although. This is a subordinating conjunction, which means although, despite the fact that. Next is in view of. Now this is a prepositional phrase which means considering or taking into account. The next phrase is considering. This is a present participle phrase, which means a phrase that begins with the present participle. Next is given. Now this is a present participle phrase, which means a phrase that begins with the present participle. Next is on account of. Now this is a prepositional phrase which means because of. Next is because of plus noun. The next phrase is due to plus noun. This is also a prepositional phrase which means because of. Next is owing to plus noun. Now this is a prepositional phrase which means because of. So these are 15 phrases which mean despite or in spite of.